Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and this time I want to show you the script that can automatically create multiple conduits in the model. This is also an invitation for you if you are interested for this script to let me know. Okay, regarding the script, so you must run the script in the active view. I did create the script in the Revit 2022, but I did also modify the script to work for Revit 21 and for Revit 23. I will show you that later in the video. So, for example, if you want to run multiple conduits for some route like this, or if by looking at this video you're not sure if this script will work for your project, you can send me maybe some sample route or your file. I will test my script on your sample file. I will send you a video. If you're satisfied, you can purchase the script. So for example, over here, if I want to have some multiple conduits and I have a couple of different drafting view, what is very important for drafting view, it is very important that those diagonal lines you place in this hidden line style, and that you place those circles for conduits in this wide lines line style. Why is that important? Because with these hidden lines I can then determine inside the Dynamo where is the center. From that center I can calculate X and Y offset, and also from those circles I can determine their location, I can determine their diameter. Over here, when you create those circles, you will probably say what is the radius, but a radius multiplied by 2 will give us a diameter. So in order to extract those data from the drafting view, you will need to store those elements in those described line styles. And okay, for example, if we run the script, if we want to run conduits on this cable tray route, we need to go through the user interface. If you don't want to have a user interface, I can modify the script so you can place input in the Dynamo player. I think it's convenient to have user interface, and the only package that the script uses is a data shapes package in order to have this user interface. So if you don't like user interfaces, we can then modify the script, and everything you will need to input over here in Dynamo player. In this version, you need to pick start element. So we'll click on the start element. For example, let's pick that this is a start element. Over here we need to pick end element, for example this one. From which drafting view we want to took those profiles. You can have as many drafting views as you want. For example, let's go with first. Also you will test drafting view number 2 and drafting view number 3. And now which conduit types we want to use. First of all, you need to pick if you want to go with conduits with fittings or conduit without fittings. Why? Because I have the same type names for with fittings and without fittings, and if I just display over here their names, you will probably not know which one did you want to use. So over here we will say, for example, conduit without fittings, and then the script will read all types for without fittings and it will show you over here. And for example, let's go with this one. And the script is relatively fast. It has a lot of things that it needs to calculate in order to work properly. So let's see at first this profile over here. So okay, over here we have different cable tray height, but as I did told you, from the center we will calculate everything. So it doesn't matter if in the drafting view you have 600 millimeters cable tray and then in the model you have something else. We will calculate everything from the center. Okay, so and let's try to see both views at once. Over here, I think that the script did calculate the position and diameters correctly. For example, we can test. So between those two conduits we have 80 millimeters. Over here it is. Now regarding the height, the distance between this two it's 50 millimeters, and over here it is the same 50 millimeters. Okay, now let's switch back to tile. Okay, and now let's see the results regarding the radiuses. I will talk about that a bit later. It is possible to deal with radiuses, but in this version of the script I didn't have enough time to play with that. But as far as the route of conduits, I think everything is great. And also, if you see, when I select some number of elements, so over here we have 5 conduit routes, so we have of course 5 fittings, we don't have any duplicates or anything. And over here, as you can see, at the end of our route, everything looks okay. So regarding the radiuses, in this case, because I did told you I did have just incredible amount of working hours, the thing with radiuses is you cannot have a total freedom in the way that over here you can set up any diameter, for example like 40 or 20, and then if you go to MEP settings, electrical sizes, I can calculate inside the script what radius should be for some conduit, but over here, if you don't have defined those dimensions, then Revit will not give you that freedom to change those radiuses. So either you will use just those default values, or you will at first create the values that you need and then you will create a conduit. So you cannot have this kind of freedom to create any diameter, any size of conduit, because also over here if you did type some size which you don't have in the settings and now you want to change band radius, Revit will not allow you to change that. But then again, if you go to the electrical settings, to the size, and if you create that size, for example 20, 20, 22, let's say that the minimum band radius is 100 millimeters. Okay, and now if we want to change, now we can change. So you need to have that dimension as a dimension for that type of the conduit. Okay, let's try to test our script on some different examples. While I was developing this script, I did create a lot of different examples. Let's try to go over here. Now let's use, for example, conduit test number 2 as a drafting view. We will see what profiles we have there. Now let's use, for example, conduit with fittings. I don't know, I did pick the random type. Okay, so let's now check that profile number 2. It is something like this. Again, I think it looks the same, so I think it is okay. Let's try just to follow the route. Of course, the script at first needs to find the shortest route between the selected elements, and then it needs to call those conduits and to create offsets along the way. Okay, over here we have 45 degrees horizontal cable tray. We are going up and we are going over here. Everything looks okay. Okay, I don't know, over here maybe this is interesting. Let's try to show what will happen if we have reduction. So start element, for example, it's this one, end element this one. Now we will use this third profile. Regarding the type, I don't know. And now over here you can see, and I did color code those conduits based on their size, so the script doesn't have anything with that, just for me to see if the sizes are correct. I did create some filters. Conduit test number 3, drafting view, it goes from 10 millimeters to 40 millimeters, all horizontal conduits. And over here in drafting view, the width of the cable tray is 300. So now when we have in the real project, this is 600, so we are calculating everything from center. So over here we have more space for conduits. Again, the script doesn't deal with the bend radius. Over here now when we have reduction, it goes from 600 to 450. Okay, everything is okay. Now over here it becomes 300, and this is the end of our route. I don't know. Yes, I think over here, for example, if you have just like 2 cable trays, will the script work then? I don't know. Number 1, fittings. So it will work even if we have just 2 elements. Okay, over here we have the same elements that we did have before. We can create, just for me to show you, so we can go duplicate with detailing. For example, we can, let's say, something like this. So this is new drafting view. And now, for example, if we want to run, let's open this. So over here we can also run. Yes, you don't need to pick end elements. You can pick any elements along the route. For example, we can start from here and we can, I don't know, end over here. It doesn't need to be end elements. It can be any elements. So let's start from here. Let's go up to here. Now we will select this drafting view that we just created. For example, conduit with fittings, first one, okay. Okay, so I think that our script follows drafting view. Sometimes it can happen that you have mirror from what you did selected. You will just need to reverse what is the start and what is the end element. So it can happen sometimes. In this case it didn't happen. Maybe when I test the script on the Revit 21 or 23 it will happen and I will show you. But if you have mirrored version of what you did expect, and just reverse what is the start and what is the end element. Over here the script did follow our profile. Now just to see if everything is okay. It looks like that everything is okay, but we have a lot of those conduits. Okay, it will go down. So it is one by other. Maybe over here you cannot see, but it looks like this. And it stops over here. So that is it. Now I will open Revit 21 to show you that the script also works in the Revit 21. Okay, now I did open Revit 21, and just as a note, my Revit 21, it comes with the version 1.7. Over here I don't have so complex test file, so my idea was I did spend a lot of time testing for Revit 22. I just, when I developed the script, take care of what is the difference in the coding for Revit 21, and it should work the same. So over here I have one route and I have one drafting view, couple of horizontal conduits, couple of vertical. We can maybe change some dimensions just to not have a situation where everything is the same. And okay, let's test now this script. Of course, script is the same, user interface is the same. Start element, for example, this one, end element, let's say this one. drafting view, one and only drafting number 1. Let's go without fittings, for example, and I don't know, random, let's say this type. Okay, let's check the results. Again, if the profile over here, I didn't generate filters for size to color the conduits. We will check now this profile. It looks okay. Let's reset temporary height. Let's check all the way the root. Okay, it goes down over here, it goes up, and it will turn over here. So that is it for Revit 21. Now I will open Revit 23, and again we will test the script on the Revit 23. Now I did open Revit 23, and for some reason at my side, when I want to use Dynamo Player over the Revit, Revit somehow has more authority than Dynamo Player, so I must split those two windows side by side to show you. But the script works, and also because I did develop the majority of the script in the Revit 22, now I can use the same test file. The Revit will just upgrade the file, and I can show you the same thing in the Revit 23. And a minute ago we did start from this example, and also as I told you, sometimes in the first versions of the script, script did have an issue to create a mirror of what you want to see. In that case, just reverse start and end element. But over here we can also test if the script will work the same. In a minute ago we did select this to be a start element and this to be an end element. Now we will reverse to see if the result is still the same. So I will run the script. Again, it is the same script, just different version of Revit. So now let's pick that this is a start element, this is the end element. We will use same drafting view. I don't know, either type will go. And okay, let's check the profile by checking with the start element. So in the start you should have what you also have in the drafting view. So if we isolate for a moment this and we open this drafting view, so we have basically the same profile, and again we can check the distances. So it's 50 millimeters, and for example, if one distance is okay, then believe me, all other distances will be also okay. 50 diameter size, over here it's 20. Over here we have, I think, 40. Yes, it is 40, and it is 40. Okay, so everything is okay. Let's now also test. Let's just follow the results. So over here everything is okay. We are going up. Again, over here, because of the bend radius, maybe it seems that the offset is not okay, but it is. Just you will need to also deal with the radiuses. Over here, same. So the conduits is going up and they're going over here. Maybe, or let's test this one, for example. We didn't test that previously. So I'll go back, play, start element, for example, this one, end element. Let's go over here. Test number 2 without fittings. Okay, let's just see again what was that. Okay, 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right. Okay, let's try to follow the results. It's okay, it's going up, it's going left. Yeah, everything's okay. So as you can see, in all 3 versions of Revit, the script will work. If you're interested about the script or if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye.